Test, test, test. It is early. It is Friday. Can you hear me? Good morning, Fausto. How you doing, dude? All right, it's been 3 minutes. Let's do it. Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto, the place where I read you the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Why? Just so you don't have to. Guys, my name is not important, and I am your host. Let's rock and roll. Texas Senate passes Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill. Donald Trump signs executive order for strategic Bitcoin Reserve. I was actually supposed to have these swapped. But we did it. There it is. There's your news. No one's buying. Why is no one buying? Oh, you sold. Weird. Moving on. 4 reasons why Trump's Bitcoin Reserve is actually bullish for those who sold. China's Bitcoin reserves. What happens if it follows the U.S. playbook? And last but not least, Trump's White House Crypto Summit confirmed attendees so far. Today is the day. The first ever White House Crypto Summit. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill in place for the feds as well as Texas, and nobody's buying. Wild. Guys, housekeeping before we get into it. Please, if you do enjoy the content I provide for you here every morning on Boring Crypto, please like the video. Share the video or the stream on all your social channels, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your TikToks. Tell your wife, tell your kids. Because we're getting everybody in crypto out here. Guys, on top of all that, if you're looking to learn how to trade better, want to learn how to trade traditional stuff as well as crypto, be part of a community that'll help you get better at those things, as well as more eyes on the market, just people learning to become financially savvy, guys, click on the link pinned in the comment. That'll take you to the Pip Connect Discord. That is Andy Peters' personal Discord. There's about 1,000 of us in there, all learning, all growing, all making money. If that sounds like something you're interested in, by all means, go ahead and jump in. Again, it is paid for, absolutely. If you do have any questions about that, please reach out to Andy or myself. We'll do our best to get those questions answered for you and see if the Pip Connect is a good fit for you. Top of that, guys, I went early this morning. Andy and I are actually going to be running around downtown shooting pictures, videos, things like that. So had to get this out of the way early. Yeah, I got other things going on. Weird. Yeah, my life is not just staring at the screen, doing streams, making a fool out of myself every morning. But I'm still here for you guys. Even though I've got other things I got to do, I'm still here for you guys. Don't forget it. Good morning, D. So, with that being said, let's jump right into the market, guys. Right now, current market cap sitting at 2.92 trillion, down 2.76% from yesterday. Bitcoin dominance hovering at, oh, weird, 60%. 60.4% for that Bitcoin dominance. ETH dominance 9.1 and 0.73 Gwei. You know what's wild? 4 years ago, these would be super bullish conditions. Y'all are spoiled. By y'all, I'm including myself. Crypto is spoiled. If we saw 0.73 Gwei for ETH transactions, people would be buying every NFT they could get their hands on. People would be swapping on-chain tokens like they were going out of style. But right now, it's quite on the front. Guys, fear and greed sitting at 30. Still in the fear realm. So scared. We're so scared right now. Yet, one of the largest holders of Bitcoin on the planet just told us they're not going to dump on us. What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't know. I'm an idiot. What do you want me to tell you? I'm joking. Guys, let's go through that top 100, see what the biggest movers are, and we'll get onto the charts because I know that's the only reason you're here. Guys, 2% down for Bitcoin, 3.85% down for Ethereum, and 2.55 down for XRP. On top of that, we're going to look for something a little bit more. Cardano down 7.45, but still up almost 50% on the week, so take that however you want. Let's just go. What is that? Mantra down 10%. Ondo down 11.9%, almost 12%. Almost 9% down for Aave. 9% down for Render. Are there any gainers? It's wild. There's no gain. Phantom down. Where did I just lost it? 10.27%. I mean, it's kind of flatline. This is basically it. Run and bring in your 100 spot guys down 4.61% today. I mean, Helium's down 6.4. Nothing. I read the biggest ones in the top 100. Those are the biggest movers, guys, in the top 100. A little bit of a sell the news event. This is it. This is the announcement. This is your 1 hour chart. Or no, it's your 7 minute. Let's go to the 1 hour. But this candle, this giant red, well, not this large, I'll just say large, this large red candle right here is your, everybody was waiting for it. Oh my God, everybody was waiting so much for the announcement of that Bitcoin strategic reserve, and what happened? We didn't get it. The United States government is going to dump $2 trillion into Bitcoin, and we don't like it, so we're going to sell. Come on. You guys. Let me repeat myself. One of the largest holders of Bitcoin on the planet just told you they're not going to dump on you. And don't forget, do not forget, just a few months ago, before the inauguration, the previous administration was doing everything they could. Literally, when the last time Andy and I were actually out shooting content for his socials, we were talking about it, that the previous administration was doing everything they could before Trump got inaugurated to allow them to dump the Bitcoin that they hold. Because what they hold is... So here's why the United States government has one of the largest bags of Bitcoin. Because they confiscated it. And I don't know how you feel about that. I have my own issues with it. It's funny that why do we have to buy why do we have to buy Bitcoin when we can just steal it from people? Either way, outside of all that, in my opinion, your opinion, our opinions on that, the previous administration was literally pushing through bills to be able to liquidate that crypto, that Bitcoin. I was reading it. I think I read it. I think I read it on the channel. All right. And now they're not doing that. And that's not bullish enough for people. The United States government has recognized Bitcoin. Listen to me. Guys, listen to me. Stop thinking short term. The United States government has just recognized crypto as quote unquote digital gold and have created a strategic reserve holding of Bitcoin. When just 4 short years ago, it was a scam. It was a joke. Bitcoin's going to zero. It's wild how fast people forget, man. I'm just being honest. It's one of those things that you think about. You're like, wait a minute, we're here. This is what everybody was excited about. We are on the cusp of worldwide adoption of crypto. And just because the U.S. didn't say that they were just going to go out and start buying from Binance, dumping billions of dollars into Binance to buy Bitcoin on the spot market, people are selling. I got to be honest, I think people are going to regret that. Anyways, but that's what they said. I'm sure we're going to talk about it in the articles I've pulled up. We've got the Crypto Summit today. Just guys, just be patient. If you sold, if you were to ask me if I think that was a bad idea, my answer would be yes. Yes, I do. Just be patient. It's literally been, what is it, the 7th? 2 months? We got 4 years of what they're going to do with crypto, if not more. So just chill. Just wait. It almost got it's pretty much already bought all the way back up. Outside of that, let's go to the chart. Like, let's actually just talk about the chart. Again, this is nothing. This is just sideways action. So we actually are consolidating at lower levels, but right now our levels are going to be this 82 to roughly around 95. That's it. That's all I'm looking at. We are coiling right now, which is good. Possible decision coming soon. We're making higher highs or higher lows, excuse me. And we are creating a potential symmetrical triangle. All right. So if you're trading this, it's all like nothing's really going on in Bitcoin right now. It's more of just hurry up and wait. But if you're trading this, I would watch for the break above 89 into the 90K range because it's looking a little bit like resistance right here on the 1 hour. And then I would look for a break at this 91.875 level or the top of this trend line if you're looking for a break to the upside. Outside of that, if you're looking for a break to the downside, it's super simple. You're looking for a break of 86,670, support, fake out. But this bottom trend line, if we roll over and break, these are the zones I'm looking at. Take profit at 82. If we break that, you're coming back down possibly to the CME gap, 78-ish. All right. Trade the moves. Trade the breakouts. It's that simple. It really is, guys. If you're playing the 1 hour, that's what I'd be looking at. This is the first time we've had like a setup, any kind of pattern in a little while. This might coil in here for a little bit longer. But this middle line, this 89.2 is your point of control. Bottom trend line, top trend line, zones to break. All right. If you have any questions about that, guys, let me know. Outside of that, we're going to move on to the news. And I'm going to let you go on with your day so you can enjoy your weekend. All right, no questions, guys. Let's do it. Donald Trump signs executive order for strategic Bitcoin reserve. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order establishing both a quote-unquote strategic Bitcoin reserve and a quote-unquote digital asset stockpile. Guys, they're holding crypto for gains. For gains. This is bullish. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to create that creates a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a digital asset stockpile, both of which will initially use cryptocurrency forfeited in government criminal cases. So the shit they stole. Got it. Just a few minutes ago, President Trump signed an executive order to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs said in a March 7th X post. The reserve will be capitalized with Bitcoin owned by the federal government that was forfeited as part of a criminal or civil asset forfeiture proceedings, he added. Additionally, a March 6 fact sheet from the White House said that the order also establishes a U.S. digital asset stockpile, which Sachs said would be made up of cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin. Bloomberg had earlier reported that Trump was expected to sign an executive order establishing a Bitcoin reserve during the White House Crypto Summit, which is today, with one option that included seeding it with government-owned crypto. Sachs said the Bitcoin reserve was, quote-unquote, a digital Fort Knox for cryptocurrency. Repeat that to you. A digital Fort Knox that actually has assets in it, probably, as opposed to the actual Fort Knox that might not have anything in it because only one guy gets to look at it. And the U.S. wouldn't sell any Bitcoin put in the reserves. It will be kept as a store of value, he added. The White House has said that Bitcoin owned by the Treasury Department would cede the reserve, and other federal agencies will evaluate their legal authority to transfer any Bitcoin they own into the reserve. It added the Treasury and Commerce secretaries would make a quote-unquote budget-neutral strategies for buying more Bitcoin for the reserve. Okay, so everybody was shitting their pants. Pardon my French. Everybody was shitting their pants, freaking out, going, they're not buying no Bitcoin. They're not buying it spot market. I'm buying it. What you failed to read is that the Treasury and Commerce secretaries would make quote unquote budget neutral strategies for buying more Bitcoin for the reserves. They're going to buy more, guys. They're just doing it in a way so they're not spending taxpayers' money. What's wrong with that? Think about it. They're going to buy more, guys. Trust me. There's one thing Trump doesn't want is other countries holding more of this stuff than we do. So they'll find a way to get more of it. As long as it doesn't cost us money, which is I'm not really against. And maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand why that might be bad or whatever. If somebody wants to try and explain it to me, by all means, I have no problem with being wrong and saying I'm wrong and be like, oh, okay, maybe that is bad. I don't know. But at face value, I'm not seeing it as a bad thing. Providing that those strategies impose no incremental cost on American taxpayers. As for the digital asset stockpile, Sachs said its purpose is the responsible stewardship of the government's digital asset under the Treasury Department. Notably, he added that the government wouldn't buy additional cryptocurrencies for the stockpile beyond those obtained through forfeiture proceedings. And the Treasury Secretary, quote unquote, may determine strategies for responsible stewardship, including potential sales from the stockpile. Days earlier on March 3rd, Trump posted on his Truth Social platform that the crypto reserve would include XRP, Solana, and Cardano. He later added Bitcoin and ETH would be the heart of the reserve. Arkham Intelligence data shows that the U.S. government doesn't hold any XRP, Solana, or ADA among the $18.28 billion worth of crypto under its control. And these things could change, guys. It'll be interesting to really see what they say today at the summit, which again might just be a nothing burger too. Be prepared for that. And if it is, people are going to sell. Be prepared for some kind of downside sell-off. Just humans. All right. Anyways, moving on. Its largest holding is 198,109 Bitcoin worth $17.87 billion. Its ETH holdings are worth $119 million, the third largest holdings behind $122 million worth of the stablecoin Tether. However, Sachs claimed there had never been a complete audit of the government's crypto holdings, and Trump's latest order directs a full accounting of the federal government's digital asset holdings. The White House said that agencies must give full accounting of their crypto holdings to the Treasury Secretary and the President's Crypto Working Group, established in January through an executive order to study the creation of a crypto stockpile. Guys, we did it. We did it. We're here. Congratulations. Moving on. More bullish news. Texas Senate passes Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill. Texas got it now too. We're on the Fed level and we're on the state level. So think about it this way, right? And this is me just hypothesizing, if I may. The feds might not be just dumping money into Bitcoin, but remember all the states that have been applying for Bitcoin strategic reserves. Imagine if 3/4 of them get approved and they start just dumping money into Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin. While the feds hold their own stockpile, states are accumulating. Think about it. Some food for thought, guys. Now, what's going to happen? Other countries going to see this and be like, oh, shit. The United States is doing this, and we don't have any. Time to start buying. I see a lot of buy pressure coming down. That's my opinion. That's my bullish opinion. Maybe I'm a permabull. I don't know. I could be wrong. But look, if there's one thing that the world is all about, it's competition. Nobody wants to get left behind in this. All right, moving on. According to the Bitcoin laws, a total of 32 Bitcoin strategic reserve bills have been introduced in 24 U.S. states at the time of writing. The Texas Senate passed the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill, or SB-21, in a 25-5 vote. That's big. On March 6th, following a fierce debate on the Senate floor, Texas Senator Charles Schwertner, who introduced the legislation, argued for the bill and said it would help Texas shore up its balance sheet with a valuable, scarce asset. We don't have stacks of dollar bills and safes like we did in medieval times. What we have is a digital currency, Senator Schwertner told the floor. Pro-Bitcoin lawmakers also argued fears that Bitcoin was a direct competitor to the U.S. dollar as a global reserve currency, adding that Bitcoin was more similar to gold and a hedge against inflation. Schwertner said, I would argue and put forth that because of central intervention and manipulation of the supply of currency, in this case, the U.S. dollar, the ability to spend money through printing money has caused the dollar to fall in value and fall in worth 100%. The monetary inflation has caused people to lose faith in the U.S. dollar, agreed. The Texas state senator added, the bill must still be signed by the governor to be passed into law. And if SB-21 is enacted, Texas will become the first state in the United States to have a digital asset strategic reserve. It's going to happen, guys. Especially with the first of all, it's Texas. Texas is heavily Republican. And with Trump coming out and signing his EO for a strategic reserve, there's no reason I can't see this not getting passed. Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Bill gets overhaul. Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve legislation was introduced in January as a Bitcoin-only bill that did not mention the acquisition of other digital assets. However, in February, the bill was refiled with broader language to reflect the potential inclusion of other digital assets. Texas lawmakers overhauled the bill following U.S. President Donald Trump's January 23rd executive order directing a commission to study the feasibility of a digital asset stockpile, which would likely include multiple cryptocurrencies. States lead the charge toward Bitcoin reserves. Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis, one of the most vocal proponents of the U.S. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, recently told an audience at the Bitcoin Investor Week conference in New York that states will likely adopt Bitcoin reserves before the federal government does. Unfortunately not. And I thought the states would too. The feds beat us to it. Lummis, who introduced the Bitcoin Act of 2024 to the United States Senate in July of 2024, argued that federal adoption would be slower than the state adoption due to bureaucratic and procedural hurdles. Well, they did it. All right, moving on. 4 reasons why Trump's Bitcoin reserve is actually bullish. All right, guys, I'm curious to see if this aligns with what I was saying. A U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve dramatically increases the likelihood that other nations will establish strategic Bitcoin reserves. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Yeah, guys. Other nations are going to see that we're moving forward with this and be like, shit. Shit, we don't want to get left behind. Strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States reduces the possibility that the government will ever, quote unquote, ban the cryptocurrency and could encourage many more nations to adopt Bitcoin, according to the crypto observers. On March 7th, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a digital asset stockpile. Wild. White House crypto czar David Sachs said the reserve would be capitalized with Bitcoin owned by the federal government that was forfeited as part of criminal or civil asset forfeiture proceedings. Man, I'm sorry, guys. Estimated at around 200,000 Bitcoin. This apparently disappointed traders as it led to an immediate 6% fall in the price of Bitcoin. People are wild. Is anybody watching me? Is anybody out there? How much Bitcoin does China hold? That's a good question. Not that I trust any of China's numbers that they put out in public, but let's check it out. You know what? I'm going to use my phone, and we're going to use Grok on X and see if Grok can answer that for me. How much Bitcoin does the Chinese government hold? So I should ask Grok, how much Bitcoin does the Chinese government hold? Jesus. Okay. Says as the most recent estimates, the Chinese government holds approximately 194,000 Bitcoin. This figure is based on reports indicating that China seized around 194,775 Bitcoin during its crackdown on the Plus token Ponzi scheme in 2019, with the assets reportedly forfeited to the national treasury. The exact current holdings could vary if any of the Bitcoin has been sold or otherwise disposed of since then, but no official updates from the Chinese government, I'm not surprised, have confirmed such actions. This amount positions China as one of the largest government holders of Bitcoin globally, second only to the United States. Given Bitcoin's price fluctuation, the value of these holdings is often cited in the range of billions of dollars through the precise figure though the precise figure depends on the market's rate. Yeah, we know if it's up or down. Lisa, there you go. Roughly around the exact same amount we have. But anything coming out of the CCP, I don't know if I trust. But I know that they're going to announce it. You've already got El Salvador has been buying. It's their national currency right now. Everyone else is just going to get on board. I say that really loosely. It probably won't go that way, but nobody wants to get left behind. Bitwise chief, government less likely to ban Bitcoin. Yeah, okay, we got that. Bitwise chief investment officer Matt Hogan said one of the impacts of U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve is that it dramatically reduces the likelihood the U.S. government will someday ban Bitcoin. In November, the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis suggested that Bitcoin could one day force the federal government to balance its budget. Absolutely. A legal prohibition against Bitcoin can restore unique implementation of permanent primary deficits, and so can tax on Bitcoin, said at the time. Other nations can follow suit. This is what's more important. The U.S. Bitcoin Reserve also dramatically increases the chances of other nations will establish Bitcoin reserves and accelerates the speed at which other nations will consider establishing them, said Hogan, as it creates a short window for them to front-run potential Bitcoin buying by the U.S. Abso-freaking-lutely. The last sentence. It creates a short window for them to quote-unquote front-run potential Bitcoin buying by the U.S. The U.S. is the global leader in the nation state Bitcoin holdings with 207,189 Bitcoin, worth around $18 billion at current prices, according to Bitbo. China is estimated. Damn it! I got that number from Grok, and I should have just continued reading the article. China is estimated to come in second with an estimated 194,000 Bitcoin, followed by the United Kingdom holding 61,000 Bitcoin. El Salvador is the only country to have designated Bitcoin as legal tender. It is still accumulating and currently holds 6,103 Bitcoin, worth around $534 million, according to the nation's Bitcoin office. I expect many of the G20 to take notice and eventually follow American leadership, said Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. This is a long-ass article. Legitimizes Bitcoin in the eye of institutions. Absolutely. Again, this is what I've been saying, guys. Everyone thinks this isn't bullish. What's up, Steve? All right. Where was I? Hogan also opinion that the United States Bitcoin Strategic Reserve makes it much harder for institutions such as agencies like the International Monetary Fund to position Bitcoin as somehow dangerous or inappropriate to hold. The IMF has been against sovereign nations such as El Salvador investing in Bitcoin on March 3rd. Yeah, the IMF can kick rocks now, right? The IMF approved a funding program with El Salvador for $1.4 billion on the condition that it downgrades its Bitcoin accumulation strategy. The memorandum of understanding, which they've still been buying, even though they've been told to slow down, the president's still been buying from El Salvador, which is wild. He's like, fuck you guys. Excuse my language. The memorandum of understanding indicated a condition of no voluntary accumulation of Bitcoin by the public sector in El Salvador. Bitwise Head of research Ryan Rasmussen continued with the notion, saying that the end game was never, quote unquote, the U.S. government buys all of the world's Bitcoin. He listed what the U.S. SBR means. Other countries will buy Bitcoin. Wealth managers have no excuse. Financial institutions have no excuse. Pensions and endowments have no excuse. Guys, if pensions and like the derivatives market start flooding into Bitcoin, it could get real wild real fast. Just Google that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Not going to say it, and I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight if it does happen, but the derivatives and pension markets and things like that is wild. Like the amount of money. Anyway, I lost my place. Pensions and endowments have no excuse. Fear of the U.S. selling is gone, which I'm telling you, that's the biggest piece to take away here, in my opinion, because the last administration was trying to push bills through Congress fast to try and liquidate this. The U.S. will likely buy more. Likelihood of states buying just went up, and the probability of the government outlaws Bitcoin is definitely zero. I think it's the government outlawing Bitcoin. The co-founder and CEO of Lightspark, David Marcus, simply said, "This is a balanced outcome and the right decision for now," adding he was happy. Reason has prevailed. Cool. Meanwhile, the crypto lawyer John Deaton points out that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick have been directed by the POTUS, President of the United States, to find quote-unquote budget-neutral ways to acquire Bitcoin. 2 years ago, we would have been laughed off stage for suggesting such a thing. Just 2 years ago, such a thing could happen. Blah blah blah. This was only a year ago that regulators approved the first U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF. Added ETF store president Nate Garassi. Bitcoin is currently rebounding, has reached 88,000 at the time of writing. Right now, we are at 89,000, almost 89 flat. Moving on. Here's what it looks like. China Bitcoin reserves. What happens if it follows the U.S. playbook? If China has not yet sold its 195,000 Bitcoin seized from the Plus token Ponzi scheme, it could use the funds to make a reserve rivaling the U.S. As the United States moves forward with its strategic reserve, speculation is growing over whether China will respond with its own national crypto strategy. On March 7th, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a digital asset stockpile. The reserves will initially be funded by using Bitcoin and other digital assets seized in government criminal cases. Yeah, government criminal cases. You catch the oxymoron there. Anybody? With the U.S. shifting its stance on Bitcoin, China may make moves to avoid falling behind. On March 3rd, Bitcoin advocate David Bailey, one of the Bitcoin supporters, credited for orange piling Trump, said that China may be working on its own strategy response to Trump's executive order. Bailey said the country has reportedly held closed-door meetings on Bitcoin since 2024 U.S. elections, though no official confirmation has been made. I'm surprised it's a CCP. They're all freaking out right now, going, "Oh, shit! We got to catch up." How much Bitcoin does China currently have? If China adopts Bitcoin reserve strategy, its holdings may rival those of the U.S. The U.S. government currently holds... I'm getting different numbers. I got 198 here. One of these articles just said they had over 200. Yeah, 207 right here. Listen, Cointelegraph, get your goddamn facts right. What's the real number? Anyway, it says U.S. government currently holds 198,109 Bitcoin valued at more than $17 billion. In addition, White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs has said the U.S. will not sell Bitcoin in the reserve. That's the biggest takeaway, guys. Which is going to tell other people to keep holding their shit. The government also intends to implement budget-neutral strategies, which we know, we've read this a million times. China has never officially disclosed its Bitcoin holdings or any sales strategies. In 2020, Chinese authorities seized nearly 195,000 Bitcoin from the Plus token Ponzi scheme. A ruling from the Yangcheng Intermediate People's Court stated that profits from the confiscated crypto assets were forfeited to the National Treasury. On January 23rd, CryptoQuant founder and CEO Kai-Young Ju speculated that China might have already sold its Bitcoin stash. Ruh-roh. If they did. The executive said it's unlikely that the country would hold censorship-resistant money. However, he noted that this was only his personal opinion. Ju said the Chinese Communist Party transferred the coins to the National Treasury but did not clarify whether it sold the coins or not. If China still holds the reserves and follows the U.S. Bitcoin reserve strategy, the country would be one of the largest Bitcoin holders globally. While Beijing's stance on Bitcoin reserves remains uncertain, Hong Kong lawmakers are exploring the potential for Bitcoin adoption within China's quote-unquote one country, two systems framework. On December 30th, Wu Jiexhuang, a member of the Hong Kong Legislative Council, said Hong Kong could study the market impact of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds in the U.S. The official said Trump's proposal to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset might impact traditional markets. All right, last but not least, guys, let you go. Let you go enjoy your weekend. Stop listening to me yell and scream. Trump's White House Crypto Summit today. Confirmed attendees so far. More than 20 key industry leaders are heading to the first White House Crypto Summit after U.S. President Donald Trump ordered the establishment of separate Bitcoin and crypto reserves. I'm looking to see if it just has names. Okay, we're not going to spend too much time on this article. I just want to see the roundtable scheduled for 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. UTC is expected to include more than 25 participants, including members of the Presidential Working Group on Digital Assets, according to Fox Business Report. Eleanor Terrett. As of Friday morning, Terrett reported that at least 22 crypto executives and 2 White House representatives had confirmed their attendance. Here's the list. Crypto industry leaders: Chris Dixon, and Brad Garlinghouse will be there. Crypto.com CEO, the Winklevoss twins, Vlad from Robinhood, Arjun from Kraken, Michael Saylor will be there, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase, co-founder of Chainlink. Keep your eyes on Chainlink. I thought Pyth was going to be a contender. I could be wrong with if Chainlink's getting his foot in the door and doing all this shit. If Sergey's doing this, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think Pyth still has room to go. They're really the only, in my opinion, competition for Chainlink, but we'll see. I could be wrong. Zach Witkoff, who's the co-founder of Trump-linked World Liberty Financial. Matt Huang, co-founder of Paradigm, Bitcoin Magazine. And Shane Copeland, CEO of Polymarket. Unconfirmed. CZ from Binance. Vitalik. Where is Vitalik still alive? That dude has been like MIA, man. Charles Hoskinson has not been confirmed. Mark Andreessen, not confirmed. Anyways, guys, that's it. That's your list. As for government officials, does anybody really care? I don't. Yep, that's it, guys. I just wanted to see who was going so far. Nothing crazy. Guys, let's go back to the chart. All right, point of control 89,213, guys. If we get above this, start working above, there's the potential for us to break to the upside. If we stay below it and get rejected, there's potential to break to the downside. Look for the trend line is 86,670 to break, or excuse me, the zone 86,670 to break, and then a potential break of this lower trend line if we're looking for some more downside action. Probably come back down to this 82 range. If we continue to move to the upside, again, the zones I'm looking at 91,875 and a break of this trend line to potentially move to 95. If we flip 95 to support, looking for another move up to 100K. That is it, guys. And that is all I've got for you this morning. If you do enjoy the content I provide for you every morning on Boring Crypto IO, please, I used to call it Boring Crypto IO, just Boring Crypto now. Please, guys, If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and follow me. Smash the like button. It helps. Let's get more people in here. Share the video of the stream on all your social channels, guys. I really appreciate it. Outside of that, guys, if you want to learn how to trade crypto, get better at money, be part of a community, guys, go ahead and click on the link in the comment section. That'll take you to Pip Connect Discord paywall. That's Andy Peters' personal Discord, guys. And outside of that, go get away from the charts. It's the weekend. Go see your families. Go touch some damn grass. And I will see you guys bright and early Monday morning. I am out of here.